But today, the show, we're going to call it The Perspective. And I love that name. We should do something new with that name. We have a number of wonderful and diverse guests lined up for you to guide us through a few important topics. And I would love to introduce them. So let's start. She's the president and CEO of United Way, California, Capital Region, but also was the first Black person to ever be elected to the West Sacramento City Council. That deserves an applause. Whether it be her work with the state, United Way, or her role in local government, she has made it her life mission to drive substantial and sustainable changes in our community so that all of us can thrive. Please give a welcome to Dr. Dawnté early. I'm so used to having the microphone.
Thank you so much. Mucho gusto.
Ay, ayusto es mío, Dr. Early.
Español, pero no necesito practicar mi español.
Muy bien.
¿En serio?
Dr. Early, and we're going to be interviewing you in Univision Channel 19 next week. Just to let you know, just a little tease. So next up is a board certified, I should say, nurse practitioner and founder of Destination Aesthetic Medical Spa, who built her business from the ground up to become one of the fastest growing medical spas in the country. With locations in Sacramento, Elk Grove, Roseville, Folsom, and El Dorado Hills, she has educated those in her field for years and has been named a Sacramento Business Journal Top 100 Business Leader and Women Who Mean Business. Please welcome Shawna Chrisman. Woo! I feel so intimidated with you sitting next to me. Okay.
We're all bad.
Oh
boss
my God.
women.
I feel so proud.
Yes.
Finally, a woman who likely needs very little introduction because I think you all know her. A Sacramento native who graduated with honors from Sacramento State. She has built an empire in law that spans through the Central Valley, from Sacramento to Fresno, up to Chico, over to the Bay Area and to LA. And after passing the Nevada bar earlier this year, I'm sure she's gonna be all over the place over there too. She's more just than a champion of justice. She's an advocate. She made a wonderful donation to the Collegiate GI program and to Sac State's Warden Scholars program this summer, and is truly an icon across California. Let's welcome Anne Fangla. My. Okay, I'm so excited to be sitting here. I feel so important, let me tell you. More than doing the news at 6 p.m. because I should be live. But I'm here with all of you. So let's start with the most important question. I believe it's the most important question of our chat tonight. The perspective, remember? So I'm going to start with Anne. Let's start with the question, what does philanthropy means to you, Anne?
So from my perspective, I think it's more than just writing a check. I think it's about your heart, and it's about recognizing that your community needs help, and in any way, shape, or form that you can help, whether it's donating your time, your resources, money, any way that you can give back and recognize that there are people who need help. So I think many of us in this room, everyone in this room that's here tonight, I think is a philanthropist. So that's my perspective.
I completely agree. It's your time, it's your treasure. I also think that philanthropy has changed from generation to generation, quite honestly, as well. I think, whether it be my parents or my mom, it used to be that philanthropy would be that you would write a check or donate to United Way or donate somewhere else. And now, particularly younger generations, philanthropy is really giving of your time, right? You want to see where that change is happening, and you want to be actively involved with the change. Oftentimes, right, taking pictures for Instagram in addition to that. But it's a part of your culture now. And so I definitely feel like it's changed, again, across generations.
I love that because thank you also for having me here. But a lot of people think that philanthropy is about writing the check and making that donation, but time is equally as giving as money.
Important to add that. What role do you think women play in shaping the future of philanthropy, Shawna? Investor.
Well, hey, ladies.
Yes.
Well, I did a little research, and it's really interesting because women are shown and proven to be bigger donors and more frequent donors than men.
Yep.
And women are showing up in different ways. Women are showing up and becoming more central to philanthropy, not just through donation, but also as mentors. And as we continue to grow in leadership and break those glass ceilings, and we become more prevalent in these roles, then the giving and the showing up will only be more impactful. And one fun fact that I found out is that the Women's Philanthropy Institute shows that single women are 40% more likely to give than men, single men. And by 2030, 2/3 of the United States' private wealth will be managed by women. So what does that mean? That women are more than ever more important, I don't say more important, but important in philanthropy and giving and showing up for sustainable causes that are going to provide meaningful long-term growth to our communities.
So many good things there. One, the future is women. Let's just say that, right? Yes. Two, where my single ladies at? Yes. I love all of that. And three, I think, like, I also feel that women are, okay, I know we're being recorded, okay, but I feel like we are more empathetic and caring. And I think it has something to do with our ability, whether it be raising nieces, grandchildren, your own children, that you feel a calling and a pull to make sure that you are taking care of your fellow man, that it's not just about you and your family, but it's the collective and our village. And I feel like that is in our DNA.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I agree with you, Dr. Early. That's really great. I think that, as women, I think we've come a long way, but we still have our challenges. And I think the fact that we've overcome so many challenges along the way has given us the power and the ability and the strength to do and be leaders in philanthropy and to give back. And along with what you said about being empathetic, and we can use that and pay it forward and inspire and continue to do the good work. And I mean, sorry to say, but only women can juggle.
Oh my God.
Having
multitasking.
The kids, the family. My husband asked me today, how do I get the kids ready for soccer? And I'm like, okay, it's a simple task. Put their clothes on, drive them, make sure they're on time. But and not to say that men aren't great, but we women, we can do 5 things at once and get it all done, okay? So there's something to be said about the power that we have as women. Completely.
I just read it in Instagram. That's why women need more sleep, because we think more than men. It's just something that came to mind when I saw TikTok. I don't know how many men are here, but you know what? I think they already left.
I vote more sleep or more Botox, either one, because, it all helps. It all helps.
Let's move on with that perspective. Let's start with this question with Dr. Early. Why is philanthropy important? We have mentioned a couple of topics too regarding this.
Absolutely. So when I think about the role that United Way plays, it sits between government, the community, as well as philanthropy, and so corporate giving and all those other things. And I'm sure we actually probably aren't aware as we've gone about our daily lives, but philanthropy has actually declined over the past decade everywhere, not just here in California, not for United Way, across our country. And it's interesting because in our community, while philanthropy may have declined over the years, need has actually gone up, particularly post-COVID, and particularly when we're thinking about educational outcomes and the support our community needs, whether it be housing, whether it be, again, education, whether it be tax preparation, all of the things that our community needs. Philanthropy is so important for that. And so giving of our time, as we said, giving of our dollars is actually now needed more than ever because our communities are hurting.
Definitely. Do you want? Yeah, yes. What I am so grateful to see is all of the women and the support in here and hearing the stories of the grant recipients and the program. It literally almost made me cry already earlier today, because this is what we need right now. The gift of love and nurture and just showing up for people and being present and supporting our communities. It's more important than ever right now.
I know personally I wouldn't be here today if I didn't get all the help, well, me and my family when we were growing up. And I can't imagine my daughter growing up in a world if philanthropy didn't exist, if events like this didn't exist, if great people like you didn't exist who want to ignite change. So I think that it's extremely important. I think, as you said, I didn't know that it declined. It's really surprising to hear that and sad to hear that. But the only thing we can do is change the future and make sure we do our part and pay it forward and continue giving as much as we can in any way, shape, or form.
And I love what you mentioned, that it's not just money, because I know, with inflation, I'm always giving the news, and I know now for families, they're struggling more than before. So it's also the time we give to our daughters, to our sons, to our neighbor, that we educate them, we empower them to also get to that goal that they dream about. So it's also time, money. Let's continue. I'm going to be adding things around the perspective.
I love that.
So let's move to our next section. We're talking about opportunities. And this is something that I didn't know about, Dr. Early. And I think we should do a news report on that. I was thinking about that. So many of you maybe already thought about this or know this information. So it's about the zip codes. Did you know it's more than just a postal code that we put on the envelope, but that it could shape the opportunities you receive and even your life expectancy? And it seems like dramatic, but it's true. So I want you to explain me, as a journalist, in the perspective, how come? Explain to me why it does make a difference in your life.
Well, so first of all, I will touch on just a little bit. I have a card because I asked my team to pull from at least our 5 counties, just a couple of life expectancy years. So if you are born and raised in Del Paso Heights, just for example, in Sacramento, your life expectancy is 74 years. If you are born in North Natomas, so East Sacramento, still in Sacramento, your life expectancy is 82 years. In my town, and West Sacramento, love my city, West Sac, Best Sac, all day, every day. I'm telling you, if you are born in West Sacramento and raised in West Sacramento, your life expectancy is 77 years. However, and that's Yolo County, yes, it is a different county. If you are born and raised in Woodland, still in Yolo County, your life expectancy is 84 years. You must have been born in, she must have been born in Woodland.
So I guess we have Woodland.
He's like, thank God I'm going to live longer. Last one, El Dorado Hills, 85 years. That's El Dorado County. Grizzly Flats, still in El Dorado County, 76 years. That's a 9-year difference. And so when you ask, why does your zip code matter? It is what determines the education you have access to, which then will determine the kind of job you have access to, the kind of college or career training you will have access to. It determines what the air quality will be around you, right? Whether you will have asthma or not. It determines the walkability of your city, whether you have access to parks, whether you have trails, whether the streets are large, whether you even have sidewalks. All of that is determined by the zip code, the city that you were born and raised in. It's why it is so important that we pay attention to our history, right? Where have we come from? And also, again, I will put a plug, it's also why local government matters, because it impacts your daily life and what you have access to and what your families and your children have access to.
Important information to know. We all need to move to Woodland or El Dorado Hills. Do you want to add something?
No, I will just say, I will admit I was ignorant to the question when it was asked, because I was like, thinking about zip codes, and then obviously when I dug deeper and realized what the question really meant, it hit me. And I think it's sad. I think that we need to make sure that opportunities, education resources are available in every zip code, but most importantly, the zip codes where it's underserved, right? So funding and raising money for those zip codes is essential. Thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Yes. I'd love to speak on that because my very first zip code, that was the start of my life, was a doorstep on a police station in South Korea, in Seoul, because I was abandoned there as a child, as a baby, on a police station doorstep. So that was my very first zip code. And so thankfully, I was adopted to a family in Minnesota when I was 9 months old. But my first zip code had a stark difference in what I always think about what my life would be like if my zip code didn't change. So,
And what incredible stories. Let's think back now that you mentioned in our childhoods. What are the opportunities you and your family had during those times and how that has shaped you now?
yeah, so like I said, I was adopted from Korea when I was a baby. And I think part of what contributed to my success was really unconditional love and support. And that's not something that everyone gets. And I realized that I'm very grateful for receiving that. My family, even growing up in love, never talked to me about going to college. They didn't talk to me about those types of things. They just gave me love. And it was really up to me to kind of help drive what I wanted for my life at that time. And some people call it, it says like a syndrome of adoption, I guess you could say, that we want to be even greater because we want to prove that we're given an opportunity, we want to crush it. But whatever it is, I think that what drove my behavior was just given support and given love. And I think that that's why we're all here, is we want to drive support and love for everyone in our communities, but definitely the underserved. And the zip code challenge is it's not a challenge, it's an inequity. And it's a very blatant inequity. And that is something that we need to all work together to help bridge together, that to help improve the lives of people better.
Completely agree. For me, particularly what informed my leadership journey, both my parents were in the military, and I think being able to see individuals that are living for a higher purpose and giving of themselves to country really informs not only my leadership journey, but probably why I genuinely love giving to community and community service. That makes me happy, and I think it's because I grew up watching others, particularly my parents, give to not only the community, but literally the country.
Yeah.
I think I'm on a different perspective on the receiving end of receiving so much from the community. As I mentioned before, my parents immigrated from Vietnam, and we came here with nothing but the shirts on our backs, and we were sponsored by a church. And they didn't know us. They had no idea who they were sponsoring. And when we got there, I wasn't born yet. So I say we, my parents. I was born a couple years later. But I did have an older brother and an older sister. With my parents, I came, and the overwhelming support, and we would never have made it if it wasn't for our neighbors, family, friends, community, church members that gathered around to teach us the language, the culture. And we received so much help. And I just remember being young. So there's not a particular childhood memory. It was just a whole childhood of being on government assistance, going to the church, picking up cereal and bread. And I remember those moments. And so collectively all together, having that experience, it has always kept me humble. And I remember going down to get food stamps with my mom and her paying out. Back then we had food stamps in a booklet, right? Not like a debit card now.
I remember those.
Yeah.
I had those.
Yeah. And I remember my mom paying with that. And I didn't know. I just thought it was money. And I hadn't realized that we were receiving, food stamps at that young age. Now looking back, when I think about all the help, that's why it's so important for me, at least personally for me and my family, to give back because of all that was given to us. And it only makes sense to pay it forward and do the same thing to keep it going.
And I think you all three had a common denominator: love and caring from parents, biological parents, or the people who care about you. Because they definitely, I'm originally from Colombia, so you can tell by my accent and the pronunciations of many words. So I came from Colombia by myself here because my dream was to study journalism. And in Colombia, it's like almost impossible. Like you're putting your life at risk. So my parents did everything they could to send me to the United States and pay as an international student. I'm still paying my student loans, but I'm living my dream. So it's like,
Okay, before we move forward, I think we all have to try and say Colombia the way you do.
I love it.
I love her accent. It's beautiful.
You have to
Colombia.
see Sofia Vergara in Modern Family.
Yes, that's exactly what you're channeling.
Okay, let's move on with the perspective. How can we create more fair opportunities for underserved communities? And I'm going to start with you.
So I think, just seriously being here tonight, this opportunity, this event, it's events like this. I think what you mentioned, Dr. earlier about kind of how it's changed and progressed over like how we are now, social media. I just blasting a post, sharing a post, telling your friends and neighbors about events like this, sharing in all capacity, coming to events and then donating obviously when you can. But I think it starts like this, like small, tight-knit group of people, and it just spreads like fire. And I know that you had visions of this not just being like something locally, right? Not just to Sac State, but like to all the universities in California, maybe all the states all over the United States. How amazing would that be? But it starts like at events like this and with people like you all here tonight. So I think that this is the answer. This is how we continue doing it.
It's starting with us all. I think when I think about even just not only what we can do, but for me, just defining moments in my life that have contributed, I had to overcome challenges as well. When I was 19, I had my son. It was not a planned childbirth. However, it was something I was really happy about. I was lucky to have many programs, whether it be WIC, the food stamps. Yep. So I actually was on food stamps before they got the card. I was so happy. It was the most embarrassing thing to be at the register and have to sit there and try to count the paper because everybody knew that you were on food stamps. And so all of those things, all the programs, even I often will say full circle for me, I remember getting my taxes done actually in Davis. I didn't realize it at the time until I came here as president and CEO, but it was a United Way program. And so, yes, it's just amazing, right? But it was all of these different supports, all of the programs and everything that helped me overcome challenges that then for me make it so important for us to be able to give back. The second chances for everyone. We all need some help, and not a handout, but just a hand up.
Yeah. I like that. Hand up.
I think just raising awareness on initiatives, and we all have personal stories, which is why we're here today. My personal story, which is why I'm here, I got invited by Amber. Thank you so much. And it was because we were at an event and I was talking about my experience with a foster youth when I was a big sister to a girl who was at my daycare camp when I was a camp counselor when I was like 16. Long story short, we ended up reuniting, and she was emancipated from the foster system, and she ended up living with my husband and I with her son for a little over a year, and she ended up getting her GED while she lived with us. And it wasn't until I had that relationship with her that I was really aware of what the foster youth in the system at that time and still now face. And it brought awareness to me. And so I think just exposing ourselves to stories like this and leading with empathy and love and increasing awareness is how we're going to bring everybody together.
And women supporting women. I love this, the perspective. This is how we move on. Like before, I have seen like women just that envy, like they don't support each other. And lately, I'm seeing the last couple of years, we as women are changing our perspective. Like, if we support each other, we're going to be stronger and we're going to get further in life.
United is the way.
United is the way. Oh my God. And that was practice. That was ad-lib. So we're moving to our last part from the perspective, but I believe is the most important one because we're going to talk about the former foster youth. As I mentioned earlier, when you were drinking and eating, I'm going to mention it again. This cause has been Women's United calling for over 20 years. This year, Women United granted 10 former foster youth at Sac State from our region $500 per month. To date, these students have received $2,000 to help them meet the basic needs, used for college expenses, and more. I would like to welcome up to the desk with us, Deja and Jalea. Sorry, Micah. Thank you for joining our perspective, the show everybody should watch, especially women.
We're starting something here. You realize that, right?
Yes.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. The podcast is coming soon. So I'm going to start with Deja. Deja. Yes, because I talked to Jalea. I'm like, Jalea, I'm going to pronounce your name wrong. Sorry in advance. You're told her great. Before when I met her. So we're going to talk about the challenges that you meet in higher education as part of the Foster program.
We think a lot about financial challenges, housing insecurity, food insecurity, but a unique challenge that are faced by foster youth is the lack of support systems, family support system, mentors in our lives. A lot of foster kids, and this goes different, everyone has a different journey, but a majority of foster kids are going home to home, different school systems, and they're unable to create those bonds and connections with people to support them on their journey to higher education. And without those systems and supports and family members to rely on, it's a very lonely and isolating journey and nearly impossible to get through without that help. And right now, only 4% of college, former foster youth who are pursuing higher education are actually getting their bachelor's degrees. Only 4% out of all these students who are trying to achieve better lives for themselves.
There, that's the one.
You did it.
Good job.
Okay.
Ah.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that. Having a family like Guardian Scholarship Program really allows us to feel like we have a sense of home, a sense of family. Coming from a place where you feel like you're not loved or wanted or supported, but then to have a group at school to help you with financial needs or emotional needs, which is what I find very important. You don't have to be my aunt or my grandma to give us the emotional support that we need. Sometimes we just need a listening ear. Sometimes we just need somebody to say, hey, it's going to be okay. Or sometimes you just need somebody to say, hey, girl, you got it. Don't worry. And I find that super valuable and important too. So just making sure that we have a community that we feel like we're welcomed and loved and supported and uplifted is very important to us, not just financial help.
Thank you.
Do you want to add something, Deja?
It's thanks to programs like United Way and the people who run it and the Guardian Scholars that we're here today and we're so successful. And I'm just so grateful to everyone here who's willing to take the time to share their thoughts, their stories, and give back so we can go.
I wanted to add,
Mess up my entire face, girl.
but I wanted to add real quick. I think both these young ladies just reiterated what we said from day one, from the moment we started talking, was it's not just about the money.
Yeah.
And we heard it from their mouths themselves. It's about like time and how sometimes that's more important than money. But I got you, girl, and you can do it, okay? And you can do it, okay?
So one of the things I'd say, just in touching on United Way and quite frankly our philanthropic women over the past 20 years, who have deeply committed to supporting not only transitional age youth, but foster youth, now former foster youth. When we were thinking about what the future might look like as we turned 100 years old for this program as well, And we started to really understand the intersection between housing and being a former foster youth, the intersection between food insecurity, that for us, guaranteed income made sense because you never know from month to month what you might need, right? And this idea for us, we know at United Way, education truly is the ladder out of poverty. And if only 4% of former foster youth are graduating, then we should go deep, and that should be the area that we target to ensure that hopefully we are being as effective and as helpful as possible. Again, the hand, right? The hand up, not the hand out. And so our guaranteed income program is only made possible, quite honestly, because of you ladies. We are able to do this, and we were able to actually give out, surprise you guys, they had no idea, but surprise them with guaranteed income because of all of the work that you ladies have done. So I also want to make sure I say thank you to all of you, because without you, this would not be possible.
So I love the stress of the time, the mentorship, the emotional support for the women involved and the foster youth. My question to you both is, those that are in the system right now, how can we get that outreach to you, to them, to help, these statistics increase and give you guys support as you grow into adulthood or become emancipated, or what? How can we penetrate that system?
I would say one of the things that I would really look forward to, and what I try to do myself, is just try to spread the word and I like to host dance fitness events in my community to kind of engage with the former foster youth and or those in my community to show like, hey, this helps mental health as well. Dance fitness and dance cardio helps with mental health. So I would say just talking with my community, kind of helping with brother-sister programs, engaging more at school, and just little community centers to say, hey, this is where I come from, and this is where you can go. And you can go wherever you want in life. It doesn't, you can have the smallest dream and make it to the biggest dream. So I just want everyone to know that there is a spot for you in this world, and you're not alone. That's what I want. And that's what you guys help me to understand as well. I'm not alone. I have people behind me who can help support me and uplift me. And I want to, push that to my community as well.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
I'll bounce off that a little. Definitely having spaces and communities where we can outreach. Like at Sac State, we have the Guardian Scholars. There's a whole room where you find other individuals who have experienced and gone through the same things you have. And that's a community. Those are people you turn to and who will understand what you're going through. And that could be a mentor, that could be other students, but having spaces and clubs even is a great way.
That's specifically designed for us. That's what makes it so special.
What's so cool, dude.
That we have our own group who know what it's like to be in our position, if not know our stories, to push us for success. That's what makes it so special.
So I'm going to change here. This is Viviana, the journalist. You have received, both of you, $2,000. I want to know, how have you spent that money? How has that money changed your life?
I have quite a long list. Are you ready?
You can start. I think we have time.
So for one, it's helped me with my my healthy eating. So because I teach dance fitness, I really focus on plant-based foods. And with inflation, everyone knows how much groceries cost. Another big thing is car trouble. I know we all have car trouble, but as a college student, to have car trouble happen and to not know where to go or what to do with it is just insane. It gives me a headache. But anyway, so there's that. Also for books and supplies and gas and classes, that's helped me just be able to focus more on my mind, my spirit, and instead of just financial reasons. Like, that's what makes it important. I can focus on other things that makes me a better woman and a better student, other than just focusing on living paycheck to paycheck, figuring out what we're going to have to eat, how we're going to get to school for gas, and even how we're going to pay for our classes or our books. And so to know that I have United Way, to ask questions, say, hey, I'm going through this. What can you do to help me? Everyone is there to just jump to help and give a response, whether that's sharing their story or sharing, hey, Julia, I don't have the answers, but hey, I got resources. And if that's that's a blessing as well.
I didn't have to get a second job. I'm so grateful. It's a pleasure because higher education isn't just about the academics. It's about getting to grow and discover ourselves. And when you're constantly working and worrying about your necessities, it's hard to find that time. So I'm just very grateful I can focus on my studies and who I am and where I want to go without having to just focus on paying my rent.
Or getting by.
Yes.
And this applause is for all of you because they have this money because of all of you. So
Absolutely.
this applause.
Give yourself a hand.
So Shawna, I have a question for you. What types of support do you believe to be most crucial for college students to succeed, and how did this support impact your college experience?
Well, I think they said it best, and emotional support and resources, and obviously financial support, and also mentorship and advocacy. When I go to the grocery store and I'm paying $10 for 3 pieces of deli meat, that's just
Girl.
it's not okay.
And you're trying to raise a family?
It's not okay. It's not okay. So I can't thank you enough for the opportunity of me being here and bringing this awareness. And I just want you guys to know, Julia and Deja, we are all so proud of you. Can we give them a round of applause? I'm so taken aback by their. You guys are inspiring me more than you know. So, and I'm sure everybody in this room as well. So eloquent, professional, and like your stories are just bringing such meaning to everything as to why we're here. So I think they said it best. Support in all ways.
What do you want to be in life? What is your dream job?
My dream job is to ideally open a nonprofit for former foster youth or for any student or any child that's suffering. I want to build a health and wellness center that has dance, fitness, yoga, mental health, therapy, group therapy, different things that offer health and wellness within my community. And I just want everyone to know that they could come to me or the people that I'm with. This is a safe space because not everybody has a safe space. When was the last time anybody thought about what makes you happy, what makes you go, what makes you get through the day that does not have to do with responsibilities?
Right.
What makes you happy?
I'm a mom, so that never.
Yes. And I'm a mom too.
But that's
you
the
understand.
thing, and that's the thing. That's what I really want to reiterate to people who come see me for my classes. I don't want people to say, I'm just a mom, because you're so much more than that. You guys are so much more than a businesswoman, and you guys are more than mentors. You guys are families. Like, you guys are everything to somebody, and you guys deserve to have a space to do something that makes you happy, that brings you joy, so you can continue to show people like us at United Way or different students that we can keep going. But you have to have an outlet for you guys to keep going, no? So,
Julia, tell them about it. Talk about it, girl.
I want to commend you gals right here at the end of the table because, I mean, you are beyond. I look up to you, okay?
Yes.
And I'm sure I'm a little bit older than you. But no, seriously, I am so...
Same age, girl.
I know. I am just the way you speak, your composure. I mean, this is you ladies are, I mean, I don't know your personal histories, but you are ladies that I aspire my daughter to grow to be like, seriously.
and we feel the same way with you guys. So
Leaders of our future. Leaders of our future.
Deja, I want to know what's your dream. Your dream job.
I don't know if there's like a specific job for it yet, but I really am passionate about how people navigate spaces and the way we can make those spaces more accessible and more easy to navigate. So I lean towards that, if that makes any sense. Psychology, anybody?
Yeah.
So I have a question for actually you ladies. So when we envisioned this, when we started talking about guaranteed income, and as you talked about, it's more than just a check. And Shawna, as you touched on the mentorship, I know for me that probably every single job, opportunity, position that I have gotten since, quite honestly, undergrad has been based on my network. It's been based on my mom introducing me to someone, a college professor introducing me to someone, both introducing me, my girlfriends, right? Your network right there is what then gains you access to opportunities like employment. And so when I thought about this program, I also thought about the power of our network, the power that is in this room right now, the power of the 250 women that are part of our Women United. And what I hoped, my aspiration, my vision was that beyond the guaranteed income, beyond the check, is that we would open up our networks to you, to be able to support you, to be able to connect you in the same way I would do my own child, and in fact, the same way I do my own child, that we would offer that and open that up to you. And so that would be my additional ask, not only whether it be $50 or $100 or whatever the ask may be to join Women United, it's so much more than money. It is your mentorship, it is your time, it is your support, and it is your network that we can provide to these women.
Thank you, Dr. Ernie. I have a question for you. What can be done to ensure the support for former foster youth?
That it continues. So we're always, right, concerned when we launched this program. I know even some of my board members were like, God, I don't know if we're going to be able to continue this. And I was like, well, hope and a prayer, because here's the thing. It's needed so much. And we heard the stories tonight. And for us, when we thought about what does the future look like and how do we invest in our future, you guys are our future. This is what we should be doing. Absolutely. And so we're going to take it year by year. And so you are here tonight. If you have not already scanned the QR code, my ask to you would be to scan the QR code, give what you can. My mom came up to me, I'm going to blast you out. My mom was like, Dawnté, I could only give $50. And I was like, Mama, that's good enough. Every dollar counts. That's my mama right there. You're gonna give more now. It worked. My mom's retired, by the way. And so her giving more is giving on a fixed income. So it is, I'm just blasting her all the way out. So give what you can. Please sign up. Join this amazing network of women. It really is truly amazing. And it's not, again, just your treasure. It's also your time. We have women in our group over the past 25 years who have taught our young leaders how to sew on a button, who have taught our young leaders, how do you find your first apartment? Like, what is that like? Because normally I would call daddy, right? Like that's who I call. What does it look like to buy your first car, right? We've taught classes, our Women United have taught classes on that. What is it like to write a check? I still have problems, by the way. I have to Google it. What does that look like? But all of those things, you guys can be a part of this network. You can be a part of this mentorship. You can be a part of the United Way family, as we all are. So I would invite you into our family.
Thank you, Dr. Ernie. I want to invite the audience. Do you have questions for us? I want to be part of the perspective. What do you want to hear from them? Do you have?
Oh, there's my mom. Now you know where I get it from.
I just want to shout out the number.
The young ladies that are here tonight, what are you guys, the holidays are coming up for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Do you guys have plans or somewhere to go for that?
Yeah, actually, because I'm adopted, I will be with my mommy, and I will then jump to my little brother's house, who's also adopted. So I'll go to their house, and then I will go to my partner's house at the end because they're always so late to things. So there's that.
Yeah. Hey.
I have. Oh wait, sorry. Wait, he's going to answer. Okay. I have my partner, and we have our own apartment, so we'll throw our own little family get together. And my sisters were recently adopted, so I'll go visit them with their grandparents.
Does
this work? Okay. I don't have a question. It was chatted about briefly, and I just want to make sure I reinforce. I talk in front of people for a living, And the fact that the two of you, and I can't see you over there, that you guys are so brave and articulate and able to stand in front of a group of total strangers and tell your story so authentically should be commended, because the majority of the women in this room, as much as we love you, could not do what you are doing right now. So I just want to say thank you for sharing your stories.
Any more questions?
Ben.
I have questions for you. I'm sorry.
Can I have one?
Oh, yes, there's a question.
So we've heard amazing stories tonight about what this guaranteed income program has done. What does the future of the program look like?
Well, that was an excellent question. So we want to continue to build on this. And so we want to not only continue to have guaranteed income next year for hopefully 10 additional Sac State students who are former foster youth. We would also like to build out to our community colleges, in which many of our former foster youth actually start at community college. And so that would be amazing to be able to grow there. And I'm an Aggie. And so I would also love to be able to expand this to UC Davis, with hopefully eventually expanding to career and technical as well, and those kinds of services. And so as we actually heard from Ann Fong, it's just taking over, right? Like throughout California. And so that would be the vision and the goal, is to be able to not just do this at Sac State, but to do it at all of our local colleges in our 5-county region.
Wait.
Hi, this one was for Ann Fong. But huge shout out to every woman on this panel. And I was wondering how hard it was to navigate college as a law student in such a fast-paced economy as a woman, and what you would recommend women do to maintain independence during such a scary time in college.
Wow, really good question. I was fortunate enough to have parents, and I lived at home during college. I lived at home most of my law school time I was in law school. So I did have that safety net of having my family and parents and their support emotionally. And it made a big difference. So when I hear you guys talk about your stories, it really saddens me. But that's all the reason why we're here, right? But it's I think also when you're young, now I look back, and I can't believe you say it's 20 years ago. Man, okay, just kind of revealed my age. But when I look back at my college years, I just remember being in a place where I was already lost in and of itself. Like that itself, going to college was already just a problem. And then just to think about, the other things that you guys might have to deal with that people like me may not have had to deal with at that point. But so it wasn't, for me at that time, it felt difficult. But I had my family to lean on. And so hopefully, I guess if I have anything to say, reach out to your support, the people around you, to United Way. Anybody reach out to me. I'm available. I want to tell all you guys here and you girls especially, seriously, I'm so moved by you guys. And you guys are talking about wanting some emotions. Call me, okay? I'll give you my cell phone
Call
number.
Ann Fong
Call
if
Ann
something's wrong.
Fong. Something doesn't need to be wrong.
I got you.
But just to not be afraid to reach out and ask for help.
Hello. Hi. Hey, girl. I just want to applaud you in my mind and my spirit, my soul. I'm so glad. I love anything that has to do with foster care, with our children, with our teens in our community. But I wanted to just ask you guys, and I know what you do for self-care, but I want to know what you all do to kind of let go of what you're being exposed to on a daily basis in terms of stress, pressure, crisis, tension. We all experience it, but I'd like to hear from your perspective what you guys do to let go.
That's such a good question. I have a 2-year-old, okay? Sorry. I have a 2-year-old. So I'm going through it. I've got a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old. So my like at the end of the day, like what makes me my me time, I work out. So I carve out that 1 hour a day. Leave me alone. Don't bother me. Let me just, so I get my energy and like the strength to move forward by kind of starting my day off. So I work out in the mornings, and that really does kind of set the tone, and gets released everything, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. So working out is it for me.
So I get this question a lot. It's not a healthy answer. So I'm currently running for mayor in West Sacramento. I think there are like literally 26 days left until the end of this journey. And I have already scheduled a vacation to Hawaii. Election is November 5th. Literally November 7th, I am out. So I'm just getting to vacation.
Okay, yeah, vacation is a good option. Exercise is a good option. I don't do either. I know. I usually take vacation during summer because I have a daughter. She's 11. But what do I do? I'm thinking about my day because it starts my... I just heard, I know. How do I get that stress out and that anxiety of being in the news? Since you wake up, I have all the alerts. You have to see breaking news, and most of the breaking news are bad news that my mental health, I think, is used to it. So by the time I get home, that it's about 8:15, like I eat, I get in my bed. The moment that I get in my bed, and it's like, for me, it's like having a massage or having something nice, just getting into my bed and not hearing anything and being quiet and having that moment with me. In that moment, I analyze my day. Oh, it wasn't that bad, Viviana. Remember that you thought that you ad-lib, you didn't ask smart questions, you didn't, the breaking news, you were like, what do I say? So I analyze all my day during those minutes, and I always try my last sentence to be positive about myself. Because it's like so easy to say everything that I have done wrong during the day as a news anchor, as a producer, as a mom, as a daughter, as a friend. All this stuff is in the mind. I don't know if I think of women, we have like a lot of things going in our mind. So I analyze all that, and then at the end, I say, I'm grateful. Oh my God, I had a delicious lunch. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe, for giving me the opportunity to be living my dream. At the same time, thank you for that I had time to have lunch, and thank you that I'm healthy. My daughter is healthy, my mom too, and I'm ready to go to sleep. That's what I say, and then I go. That's the reality. Hopefully, I get into exercise and I have more vacation.
Well, I have a long and a short answer. My short answer are 3 words. Bravo, Pinot Noir.
Oh, yes. Yes.
My long answer is, ladies, don't ever use the word balance. And don't ever question if you have balance in your life, because balance doesn't exist in life. The definition of balance is you have a 5-pound weight on one side, you have a 5-pound weight on the other side. That is balance. That is not life. So don't kill yourself every day, mentally, emotionally, physically, and trying to achieve balance. It doesn't exist. So just do your best, lead with gratitude, and show up.
I really like to journal and write down quotes. It's like one of my main ways of de-stressing. And arts. I love the arts, pastels, watercolors, acrylics. It's a great way to express yourself. So definitely the arts, yes, and journals.
Excellent question. We learn from each other. You know, now that I'm going to leadership seminars, they always how do you get a balance in life? There's no balance. There's integration of work and life. Yeah. We integrate everything. So it's not going to be 50-50. Maybe in vacation, you have 90% of yourself.
There you go.
And 10% after you win. Well,
yes, queen.
Just a tease for the interview that Univision is going to have with her next week.
I see what you did there.
Do you have any more questions or something you want to share with us? Because you also have stories and history that we can learn from all of you.
Any advice?
Hi, my name is Priya, and I'm glad you guys talked about work-life balance. I have a 80-year-old and a full-time job, and I'm a financial literacy coach at several different nonprofit organizations. So the balance does not exist. One thing that I remember was Jeff Bezos said, you need to harmonize your work life. And it makes it so much more peaceful. It removes, especially for us women, it removes the shame and guilt. So that's what I just want to add, because I feel like the mom always feels guilty. And once we learn to harmonize it, it creates the peace that we need, we want, and we deserve. So, and thank you for everything you guys shared.
Thank you for sharing that. Harmonize our life. I like that. Okay, we're getting to the last question because they're telling me 3, 2, 1. We have to go to commercial.
Okay, well, we'll close it off with we are Fitra, and we create a space just for you guys, just like how you said. So we are in the works of arts, media, journaling, dancing space, California Dance Festival. So I definitely want to connect with you guys. We provide a safe space, and I've been a probation officer and a teacher, and I know what you guys need. And now creating this platform here is amazing, seeing all these women together. Hey, I'm going to get emotional, but this is just great. And thank you for creating a platform because it's needed, and key is awareness. So thank you for bringing awareness for these youth.
Before we say goodbye, or we should say hasta la próxima. How do you say that in English?
Oh,
like
Lord,
not
see
goodbye,
you
but
later.
See you later.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, I do speak. I get nervous. I really do. Oh, I see your face. I do. My daughter's in a dual immersion, and so she has to practice at home with me. Okay, so it's my turn.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
To do the closing remarks.
Okay, all right. I will. Okay, I got this. So now I invite you to take the next step with us. By joining Women United, you become part of a powerful network dedicated to making a difference. You heard about that tonight. This program offers our collegiate guaranteed income, offers financial stability, mentorship, and a community of support, ensuring that these young women can focus on their education and future. And we heard a lot about that tonight. Whether it is Diamond, Platinum, Gold, or Silver Women United member, you will make an impact as a collective. Remember, United is the way. So imagine what it looks like if all of us in this room come together to be able to support these women. For $41 a month, you could support a former foster youth like Deja or Jalea for 1 month. And if you opt for the Diamond level, you'll be supporting a student for an entire year. I'm not going to read that. So with this, I want to continue to innovate and ignite change. I ask you to join us in this mission to support and uplift the next generation of leaders, because together we can create a brighter future for all. I did my part.
Thank you all for being part of The Perspective, for being with us, sharing everything. We learned something new today. I'm going to harmonize my life. I love that.
I love that.
Soundbite. Perfect. I know. And, you know, being moms, now that I hear you, because we feel bad, like right now I'm here and not with her, and you're like, oh, like a good mom should be with her. But sometimes you need time for yourself as well. Right?
Yes.
We're moms, we're women, we want to continue. So hopefully you get inspired with all the different stories we got in The Perspective. And of course, before we say goodbye or later, see you later, we have to thank our sponsors. And one of these sponsors is Univision 19 Sacramento.
Muchas gracias.
And UC Davis Health too, so let's give them a big round of applause. And also let's give them a big round of applause. All the talent we have here, Deja, Jalea, and Shawna, Dr. Early. Hopefully I'm pronouncing all the names right. Perfect.
Thank you, and it was a pleasure for me to be part of the perspective.
This was fun,
love
right?
It was
this
super fun.
We should do this again.
Yes. Do you have any feedback? What do you want to see in our next perspective
Oh,
series? That was a good one.
Thank you.
And I was just told that if you guys sign up, you get this lovely bag of goodies.
Oh, that's probably what I didn't read.
I don't know what's in it, but let's find out together.
Young operation, all the meeting, there's something.
Oh, I love that. And we can actually make that happen. She said a video compilation of all of the different perspectives that we got up here. You are forecasting for the team. Can we make that happen? I see nodding. You got it.
And we have until 7:30 to continue talking. And you can hear from other people in this room. Everybody has a story. So please continue enjoying Women's United Fall event. Innovate and Ignite.
You got it.
Oh my God.
Muy bien.
Gracias. Muy buenas noches. And remember, 6 a.m., 12:30 p.m., 6 p.m., and 11 p.m., channel 19.